People find a new way to amaze me literally every day. I mean, there are just some things you should not do. Stealing a helicopter is definitely one of them. We know at least one person snuck into Sacramento Executive Airport and tried to take this bad boy for a ride early this morning. I mean, he didn't get very far, but now a few major government agencies are, of course, looking into it. We'll have a lot more on that in just a few minutes. But first, I want to get to the fallout from this week's storm because it left a lot of damage behind. California is now picking up the pieces after its 11th atmospheric river this rainy season. In just the past 2 days, the impacts of relentless rain have been felt all over the valley and the foothills. 3 homes were evacuated after a mudslide tore down this hill in Colfax.
We look over here and it's a hole. It's filled with mud.
And the people living there, they were lucky to walk away unharmed, but their houses not as fortunate. Speaking of luck, a CHP officer wasn't hurt after this sinkhole tried to pull his SUV down near Sierra Springs in El Dorado County. In Truckee, there were only minor injuries after some 18-wheelers were part of a 10-car pileup out on I-80, and the highway stayed closed for hours afterwards. Meanwhile, this driver and Tracy, less fortunate. They spun out after ignoring a road closed sign on Casson Road and forced to not only pay for their car to be towed, but a hefty fine too. In Sacramento County, a kayaker was saved from the American River. Metro Fire using air and water support to find the boater. He was taken by helicopter to the hospital after he was found near Rancho Cordova. This video from another water rescue that happened on Steelhead Creek near Northgate. Sacramento Fire says that 2 people were trapped inside a makeshift shelter with their dog. And it's a good reminder about how quickly a situation can become dangerous when there's weather like this. One of the widest reaching storm impacts, strong winds, pushing over trees, some of which falling on roads and houses.
On Placer Hills Road, just outside Weimar, this huge tree came crashing down on those power lines, leaving thousands without power.
The governor in Monterey speaking to the weather whiplash becoming commonplace in our state.
If anyone has any doubt about Mother Nature and her fury, come to the state of California.
So much devastation, but thankfully, I mean, we got a little bit of a break today. Let's get straight over to Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods. How are things looking tonight?
Well, we still have that delayed effect of all the water trying to get through the system. So still have 8 monitoring stations for our rivers that are above flood stage, some of which are in our region. So that in the Sacramento River Basin, you can see just to the north of Sacramento, we still have 3 monitoring stations that are at flood stage. It's expected to go below for tonight. And then on the Feather River at Portola, that isn't expected to go below flood stage until Friday morning. Now, the Feather River also connected to Lake Oroville, which is doing the releases, and they had 15,000 cubic feet per second being released yesterday. Today, that went up to 20,000. And tomorrow it's going to be 25,000 cubic feet per second being released. That's far below the capacity that they could be releasing. Still had some scattered showers going on late this afternoon and into this early evening, but most of the showers, for the most part, are going to be out of here from the latest atmospheric river to hit. Temperatures currently are in the 60s down low, 50s for the foothills and 30s up top. With our forecast for the next couple of hours, falling to the upper 30s by early tomorrow morning. Mostly sunny skies ahead for tomorrow. Pretty nice day for our Thursday. We'll track our next wave of wet weather coming our way.
Thanks, Monica. All right, I want us to get back to that stolen helicopter that we told you about earlier. An FBI investigation, as you can imagine, it's underway after an attempted theft of that helicopter at Sacramento Executive Airport. Alicia Machado was on scene with the latest.
The FBI says they have identified a person of interest in this attempted helicopter theft. Investigators still out here at the scene looking for evidence. You can actually see a helicopter here without its blades and pieces of debris still lying on the floor after this crash. When Sacramento police responded early this morning, a helicopter was actually found on its side. The FBI says the attempted theft happened sometime between 2 to 6 a.m. They believe the person attempted to get into other helicopters before they tried to steal a Bell 429 helicopter here at the airport.
We do have surveillance footage that we've been able to see, and then we have been processing for other evidence as well.
Now, the FBI is still trying to determine a motive and exactly how that person got into the airport and into the helicopter itself. I do want to show you the fence, though. For reference, I'm 5'5", and this has got to be about 5 feet tall. We will continue to keep you updated on this situation.
And something else that people are talking about today, a huge distribution warehouse out in El Dorado Hills. It's something that we keep telling you about. And if approved, it would be built on this chunk of land on Latrobe Road and Royal Oaks Drive. And it's across the street from a relatively new neighborhood. And Becca Habegger is at a planning meeting tonight where neighbors can express their thoughts. And Becca, I mean, this is massive. We're talking about 4 million square feet, something that would obviously not go unnoticed.
Right, this is no small proposed development here in the community of El Dorado Hills. You know, the parking lot, if this is any sign, is packed here at fire station number 85 in El Dorado Hills. Folks are here to attend a meeting of the El Dorado Hills Area Planning Advisory Committee. They're here to voice their concerns, to have some questions answered. We also know the developers of this planned proposed development are here as well. They're here to give a presentation to folks and hopefully answer some questions for them. You know, neighbors we've spoken to, they tell us that a big concern is traffic, saying Latrobe Road, where the development would go alongside, is already very congested. Neighbors also have concerns about noise and air quality. The developers say the two-building plan would bring thousands more vehicles to the roadways daily. But the developers also point out this development would bring thousands of jobs to the area. Now, tonight, developers have a presentation for both the Planning Advisory Committee and neighbors. The committee chair says neighbors here to express their concerns will have this to expect.
We want to be fair with them, and we want to be courteous and civil with them. That's hard to do. Emotion will sort of rule the discussion, but we ask people to just be respectful and ask a question, give some feedback, and listen. That's the most important part.
Now, as for what's next, the advisory committee will hear from, tonight's meeting. They will put together recommendations, which they will then send to the county. Now, the county is under no requirement to take the recommendations. The committee can either approve it, give their full, blessing. They can approve it with modifications, or they can reject it. They haven't said where they land on this. And again, the county doesn't have to take the recommendations. This is just a matter of getting some input from the neighbors and the developers. And we'll be following this with more tomorrow and later on this evening. Alex?
Thanks, Becca. After the break, a controversial speaker came to UC Davis last night and things got a little bit rowdy. So we're rounding up your headlines coming up after the break. Here are some other stories that people are talking about today. The California Highway Patrol has finalized its investigation into a December crash that killed 4 people in Granite Bay. CHP says that Jerry Seipel was under the influence, driving fast and recklessly, which caused him to lose control and crash into some trees. And now the wife of one of the victims is suing Seipel's estate and the restaurant House of Oliver. She says that the restaurant allowed him to leave in his car when he was drunk. A car went into the San Joaquin River after crashing with another vehicle on Highway 132 today. The people inside, they got out and had to hold on to a tree before the Stanislaus Sheriff Department airlifted one of them. The other person was taken out by boat. Both people were taken to the hospital right after. 2 people were arrested and 1 officer was injured during protests outside of a speaking event at UC Davis. The event was run by Turning Point USA, a conservative student group. Speaker Charlie Kirk, who is one of the founders of Turning Point USA, was invited by a student organization. He was originally slated to come speak back in October, but the event was canceled because of safety concerns.
And then that crowd moved over to where we were in line and tried to force us all out of line. And I got assaulted 3 more times.
Looking forward to seeing this event after what happened back in October, where they tried breaking in and causing a ruckus, canceling the event. So hopefully things are much better this time around.
The UC Davis chancellor addressed student concerns about the event and made it clear that while it was happening on campus, it was not a university-sponsored event.
We are committed to the First Amendment, and we are required to uphold it. But just as we support students' rights to invite speakers to campus, we also affirm the right of students to freedom of expression and to speaking out against hate and discrimination.
About 500 people attended the event. 100 more protested the speaker outside. After the break, an event canceled by COVID is finally coming back to the capital city. We're talking about just how big March Madness could be. A few things are headed to Sacramento this weekend, and they include 8 college basketball teams and a whole lot of money. Yeah, that's right. March Madness is in town, and our Devin Truby explains how valuable this weekend could be for the city.
The sights, the sounds are all here for March Madness in Sacramento.
I'm a huge basketball fan. Like I said, my buddy and I have been coming the first round for since about P5.
Diehard basketball fan Robert will also be heading to Houston for the Final Four, and even though he has family in Sacramento, the city wouldn't make his travel list without the tourney.
No thought of coming to Sacramento except for this particular event.
But the competition isn't just on the court. For hotels, they have to bid with Visit Sacramento to be one of the hosts. The Hyatt got one of the spots for the 8 contracted team hotels. While they can't officially say who they're hosting, all signs point to a potential Elite 8 Final Four contender. They sold out their 505 rooms without having a convention in town.
The amount of people I've met just being in the lobby that have never been to Sacramento before in their life. So I think it's a really great opportunity to showcase our city.
Which is what Visit Sacramento says is a highlight. There's a whole day between rounds for fans to shop and eat local.
It's a big help for the businesses, certainly at a time when many are still recovering from COVID. So.
Visit Sacramento anticipates Sacramento, Yolo, and even Placer County will be collecting big in terms of hotel tax. They estimate $10 million will be made in 5 days off the NCAA tournament and win over potential future visitors.
What we found, whether it's with sports or music fans or even conventions, when we get them here, they fall in love with the city. So these events are a great tool for them.
All right, let's take a look at I-80. This is near Kingvale. The roads are still a little bit wet, but the highway is open with no chain controls. I mean, Monica, you're laughing over here.
Well, because the snowbanks that are still piled up in the Sierra. It's amazing how much rain they were able to absorb. That just shows you how cold that snowpack is. It's going to take a lot of thermal energy to melt all that snow and eventually fill our reservoirs. Forecast for tomorrow. If you are headed over to Golden One or just enjoying a Thursday outside, dress in layers starting off in the 30s. For morning lows, sunny skies will prevail. Light northwest winds occasionally gusting to about 20 miles per hour. Highs make it into the low 60s. Now, this is great timing. We have a slight chance of seeing a few isolated showers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But overall, we've got a pretty good dry stretch, all things considered, for how it has been over the course of our March. Thursday, we're still dealing with residual flooding, but generally partly cloudy skies. The next big atmospheric river that's headed our way doesn't hit until Monday into Tuesday, with breezy conditions and periods of heavy rain and snow. In the meantime, still tracking just a few isolated showers and snow showers for the foothills and through the Sierra. Even that is starting to clear out within the last hour or so. Highs for today in the 60s to almost 70 for Fairfield, 50s for the foothills, and close to 40 up top for the Sierra. Didn't see a whole lot of additional accumulation, just some spotty showers here and there. So we're high today, 63 degrees. That is, relatively speaking, pretty close to our average. Low at 38 is below that 45-degree low. Now, our season total, that is quite impressive. We're almost at 19.5 inches of rain so far. That is more than we usually get for an entire water year, which doesn't end until September 30th. Usually, we're going to chip away at the opportunity for showers coming in by the time we get to April and May, certainly, and then June, July, August, even September tend to be pretty dry months with very little unaccumulated rain. Rain and snow showers pick up tomorrow. Again, very isolated in nature, not much to contend with here. Friday, Saturday, just a few very light showers possible as that weak low moves to the north of us. And then we'll start tracking some more action off the coast. Sunday could be a slightly better organized system, and even more so Monday into Tuesday. Total snowfall, it's going to be minor impacts next Monday and Tuesday, about 3 to 4 inches at Echo. Yeah, inches, not feet. Finally measuring in inches, not feet. Slick roads, travel delays, and chain controls, though, still possible. And then rainfall, about another inch or so in the valley, and we'll see about 2 to 3 inches in the foothills. So slick roads and some ponding on the roadways. We're not talking about major flood issues, though, at this point. Highs in the 40s tomorrow for the Sierra. 50s for the foothills. We'll start off with morning lows in the 20s and 30s. A crisp start to the day, but melting some snow away there. 50s and 60s across the coast, and we'll keep that as well for the valley, starting off with morning lows in the 30s, highs in the 60s with our 5-day forecast through the mountains, the foothills, and the coast. You'll see we'll have a mix of rain and snow for the mountains Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and next Monday. For the valley, it is all rain. St. Patrick's Day on Friday, and spring arrives on Monday.
Thanks, Monica. Inside of Sacramento's Florence Square sits a little place called Melanin Day School Academy, and it's a program for kids to learn about African-American culture that's not always taught in schools, and it really aims to bring our Black communities together. Producer Ayanna Williams gives us an inside look.
We create such an amazing vibe and space for Black families to heal and thrive. So that looks like anywhere between music to, creating spaces where there's children playing, where there's adults coming together laughing, where it really feels like a family reunion. We have them learning about the soil at which we grow our foods in, how to take care of it, how to nurture it, which then teaches them how to nourish their own soil, how to develop and cultivate their own minds. We have a family fitness, African dance, where they learn about different African cultures. We have also an instructor, Baba Cliff, who does smoothies, talking about tasting the rainbow. What we're doing is inviting people to reimagine color through the fruits of, the rainbow. So we'll have different affirmations like, I am prosperous, right? That I am abundant and, I am quintessential. And then we'll connect that to different Black leaders or stories of local leaders. We have them with telling their stories, right? Or drawing images to capture how it is that they felt. And that is something when we talk about belonging and being a part of something is what we do at the Academy. Our motto that we share is that we learn, we grow, we share and play. So we want to be in a space where learning is fun, where sharing is fun. And seeing you grow, seeing me grow, that's fun. And then we playing, we having a good time with it, right? So we got classes in person and virtual, all the way as far as Virginia right now, where we've connected families to say, hey, you can join us too. And so at the Academy, when we say we want Black families to heal and thrive, we know they've been through so much. We've been through so much. And sometimes people are just sick and tired of being abused and just being looked at less than human. We within the Black community have been taught to pull each other down. We've only seen images of that. And so the new narratives that we have is like, look, I'm helping you, you're helping me. So we specifically have gotten feedback from our children that said, I'm not bullied here. That's a big thing. A lot of families have pulled their children out of public schools and have looked towards, private or homeschooling because they're being bullied. And a lot of times simply because of the color of their skin or that their hair looks different. And that's so important, especially in today's times when a lot of the children are seeing, images of Black people being killed. They're seeing them being portrayed in a negative light. And it's like, well, is that me? Is that the only thing that I can live up to? And it's like, no. Come here, baby, look, I look like you, right? My hair looks like yours. And that power of, representation and having it and seeing it is just normal, where now they don't even think about it. It provides a safe space, not only for the youth, for the adults too. It's awesome to experience and see when you now see generational healing happen. That's why this space is so important. Melanin scholars are here to say, I love my melanin in every way. We learn, we grow, we share and play. Hey!
We're just a few days away from St. Patrick's Day, and if you didn't know that Sacramento had an Irish community, well, all you have to do is just look around the city, and that's the story that we're working on for tomorrow, because some of our biggest landmarks were built by Irish Americans. The Cathedral of the Blessed Sacrament in downtown, the railroad system in and out of the city, and then hundreds of Irish families rest inside St. Joseph's Cemetery. This is St. Patrick's. The Irish community urges you to take a short break from your green beer and try to learn some more about their heritage.
Be responsible, of course, don't drink too much. And then maybe ask a few questions about a song that you heard. Maybe it's a song about Dublin that's changing from the old ways to the new ways. And ask a question.
Tomorrow, John Bartel shows us the Irish community, past and present. You can catch his full story right here at 6:30 on To The Point. As always, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here, same time, same place tomorrow. Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.